Welcome back in, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. I have made it. President Trump sends his regards. I was over in the White House with a guy that Jim Jordan, who is with us now. I'm in the D.C. studio. Buck Sexton down in Miami. Congressman, we'll get into some serious stuff in a moment. But off the air, you just came on and you were singing Buck Sexton's praises based on him having hit the 100-mile-an-hour serve.
John McEnroe Jr. That's what everyone is saying. It's taken over the sports world. It's Buck Sexton and Indiana football top of the story.
I did have Twitter assistance from John Isner, the fastest server of all time.
He's
so
a
that
fan
was
of the show.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. You're getting
see, this is the thing.
Dang,
I had a ringer.
That's that's still impressive too. So, I mean, that's amazing. No, because I think I was maybe with Clay. I think it was your wife who said
my
no.
wife was Laura Travis was not a believer.
Yeah, and
in
I was with your wife on that one. But then I saw it. I saw the first video that you sent me, and I'm like, that's pretty good. Maybe he can. And then, sure enough, about 4, 5, 6 weeks later. 103 or what was it, 104?
Yeah, it's okay. Next stop, Congressman, is 110, so don't worry about it. I'll post the 110 video by the end of this year. So we're getting there. But are you going to fix the government, sir? Because we've got some problems.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a good year. I mean, Clay was saying this the other day. I saw him on TV. I always say we make the job too complicated. It's pretty basic. What'd you tell the voters you were going to do? If you get elected, do what you said. No one does it better than Trump. President Trump said he'd cut taxes. He did. He said he'd secure the border. He did. He said he'd stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. He said an issue you've been focused on, you guys, particularly Clay, he said he'd get men out of women's sports. It looks like the Supreme Court, based on what we saw in the arguments, that looks good. So he's delivered on what he said he would do. Said he'd get European countries to kick in more for NATO. They're all like, yes, sir, 5%, here we come. So it's been an amazing year. And I think once the big, beautiful bill kicks in, the taxes that people are going to see, frankly, when they start filing their tax returns and as this year progresses, I think we're in a pretty good position to keep the majority in the House, which, as you know, historically is not easy to do.
Yeah.
But, it's been a good year.
So when you look at the midterm, we can start to talk about the midterms coming up. And obviously the House, whether we have the majority or the minority, makes a huge difference in your life, but also in what could happen. When you look at Minneapolis and the fraud that's going on there, and now layered on top of it, the ICE, or the response to the shooting there, how does that play nationwide, do you think? Obviously for Mayor Fry and for Tim Walz in Minnesota, they think it's beneficial. What does the nation think of that in your mind?
No, I said this to the conference last week, all our Republican members when we got together with the president, that I think this campaign is simple. I think we tell them what we did, things I was just talking about, and then we always remind the voters how crazy the left is.
Yeah.
And that is Minnesota. That is Minneapolis. And so I think it's really important. You do what you say, and you remind them, here's what they did, here's what they believe, and if they're back in power, they will do it again. They will impeach him again. They will open up the border again. They will try to get men back in women's sports. They will raise your taxes. They will spend, causing record inflation. They will do all that again.
Yep.
And you can just look at all the dumb things they defund the police, sanctuary jurisdictions, which lead to this environment where we saw the tragedy happen last week, where the ICE agents defended himself, and this tragedy happened. So that is the environment of the left, and I think it's important to remind the voters that's what's coming. They're so crazy they were willing to let a Chinese spy balloon fly clear across the country and then shoot it down.
Yeah.
I think any other normal person, and I know President Trump, would have shot it down before it went across the country. So remind him of that, and then show him what we've done to make life better for him.
I know you have some testimony that is supposed to be happening coming up. What is it, January 22nd, Congressman, which is just about, 8 days away. You will be chairing testimony where Jack Smith, the special counsel extraordinaire, is supposed to explain himself with the whole Trump situation. What are you expecting with this, and what are we trying to get to here?
Well, I think first of all, it's important to frame it. Jack Smith is just sort of the culmination of 10 years of the left going after President Trump. I mean, it was Comey and with all the things he did, spying on the campaign. Then it was Mueller, impeachment 1, impeachment 2, Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, and now Jack Smith. And so I think we will lay that out. But specifically, we're going to ask Jack Smith, you were so determined to get the president. Think about this. Kevin McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House on January 7th, 2023. 16 days later, Jack Smith goes and gets his phone records. Subpoena for his phone records for 2 years prior for a 2-month time frame. So he goes and gets the phone records of the top Republican in government, the guy second in line to the president. He knows who Kevin called, who called him, when it happened, how long it lasted, and if Kevin initiated the call, he knows where he's at when he does so. You can pattern someone's life. You know who the Speaker of the House was talking to before a big vote, who he's talking to. That is frightening. And then to add insult to injury, he goes to the judge and says, don't let Verizon, don't let AT&T tell these members of Congress, tell the Speaker of the House that we got his phone record. So he doesn't even know. And he puts on the subpoena because he might be a flight risk. Like, you got to be kidding me. The Speaker of the House is going to run from the country. He might tamper with witnesses. That is how determined he was to go after President Trump. It is ridiculous. And now we learned last week that he paid a confidential human source $20,000. My big question to Jack Smith is why? You can subpoena anybody and everybody you want. You're a special counsel, got all the full power of the Justice Department, and you're paying people to go say bad things about the president? You got to be kidding me. So those are the kind of things we're going to ask him now in an open environment after we had him for 7 hours in a deposition.
You went through impeachment 1 and impeachment 2. One of the stakes of the midterms that are coming up is, it seems quite clear to us, Buck and I both believe it's going to happen. I'm curious if you do. Yeah. If Democrats take back control of the House, they'll impeach Trump again. They'll find something to impeach him for. Is that, in your mind, one of the most major stakes in terms of having control of the House?
Yeah, they will do that, and that will stymie all the good stuff that we got done last year that we talked about. So, yeah, and you know it's going to happen because they've already filed impeachment resolutions, several of them. And maybe more importantly, what they did at the start of this Congress is on the Judiciary Committee, they got rid of Jerry Nadler. They said, you're no longer going to be the top Democrat on the committee. We're going to bring in Jamie Raskin because they think they're going to win, and they want to run impeachment the more traditional way out of the Judiciary Committee versus how they did it 5 years ago when they ran it out of the Intelligence Committee with Adam Schiff. So they bring in Raskin because they think they're going to win, and they will, in my opinion, they will. I'm with you guys. They will definitely do it because that will, and they will investigate President's family. They'll investigate everyone just like they did, 7 years ago.
Do we think that we're ever going to get a broader view of the kind of fraud, Congressman, that has been unearthed in Minnesota? This isn't the only place where this stuff was going on. You're hearing early reports about similar situations in California, and particularly around the issue of fake or greatly exaggerated child care, which is something that I would assume a lot of the fraudsters thought to themselves, no one's going to really want to go after or look into this. We're providing care for children. Well, if you're saying you're taking care of 300 kids or whatever, and you're getting millions of dollars and there's no kids, I do think that we should look into that. I think that that's a problem.
Yeah. The vice president announced last week that they've created a special position at the Justice Department to focus on this. I think this is sort of a furtherance of the whole Doge effort, which Elon, the work he did there, I think getting this, starting to get this out there was really important. So I like what they're doing there. And you're right, Buck. It seemed like all these programs, feeding kids, giving kids learning centers, autistic kids, it was all supposed to be helping the children when in fact they were just sticking the money in their pocket. I mean, this Feeding Our Future program, they didn't feed anyone. They were actually shut down for a period of time, and then it was started back up. And if you remember in the hearing last week, we asked them, well, why was it started back up? Well, it's because this group said, we're going to file a racial discrimination suit against you if you don't start giving us the money that we're just sticking in our pockets. And they did it. So this was the old, the typical template that the left uses. I always say the left will tell a lie. We're feeding children, when in fact they're not. Big media will cover for the lie. And then when you tell the truth, they call you racist. And that's what they did in Minnesota. But it was even worse. They didn't just look away and restart the money. It looks like they assisted because there was a meeting that was actually on videotape between the Attorney General and leaders of the Feeding Our Future program. And 2 weeks after that meeting, suddenly the Attorney General starts getting campaign contributions from these folks. So it was, I think, a political, looking the other way, assisting political, we don't want the lawsuit against alleging racial discrimination, and we want to keep their political support, which is the worst kind of scam and fraud you can have. And it was going on, as we heard from the members of the General Assembly from Minnesota last week in the hearing. It's been going on for 10, 12, maybe even as up to 15 years with various programs.
We're talking to Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio, Venezuela and Iran. It is unbelievable the success of the raid that happened in Venezuela.
Yeah, it
certainly is raising, I think, a lot of nervousness inside of Iran because they have to be very concerned about the capabilities of the United States. What do you think will happen? What should happen if the president asks you, hey, how should I handle Iran? What would you tell him?
Well, I think Iran's taken everything the president's saying seriously in light of what happened with what Israel did to lay some of the groundwork, and then what we did. Amazing operation there. What was that called? Midnight Thunder, and then the operation that took place in Venezuela. I'm always surprised at the left. The left criticizes in Venezuela, and I'm like, wait a minute. We took out the head of a narco-terrorist criminal operation who's got a 5-year arrest warrant. Who's, playing footsie with China and Iran
with the $25 million bounty that Biden increased just in January last year.
Right here in our hemisphere, and somehow the left says, oh, this is a bad thing. I think I have confidence in the president. I have confidence certainly in Secretary of State Rubio as well, that they'll handle this in the right way. I think this idea of making sure Venezuelans get the benefit of the resources they have there, help their population, helps the whole market.
Yep.
I mean, this is not about getting oil necessarily for America. It's making sure Iran and China don't get it, and the people of Venezuela benefit from it, and they get a better lifestyle there, and also maybe stopping this huge migration we've had of people coming to the country. So I think there's all those elements, and I trust this administration to handle it in the way that they should.
I have one more question on the subpoena side of things, not to divert too quickly from Iran and Venezuela, but I wanted to get this one in while we have you, Congressman. Fani Willis also has been subpoenaed, as I understand things. Can you tell us where that is and where that oversight investigation is going?
I'll tell you this about her. I guess someone to work for her.
Loverboy.
Yeah, Mr. Wade.
Yeah.
We actually have already brought him in.
Yeah.
And we deposed him. And when we deposed him, it was fascinating because we asked him, you build the taxpayers of Georgia for several hours of meetings and conversations here in D.C. And he goes, yeah. Billy said, he did it. He came up here and did that. We said, well, who'd you talk to? Couldn't remember. We said, did you meet him at the people at the White House, people in the January 6th committee? Were you here at the Capitol? Were you at the White House? Were you at the Justice Department? Where'd you meet? Couldn't remember.
Oh, convenient.
We said, did you meet him in person or did you do it via Zoom or, couldn't remember. Finally, we asked him, did you really come? Or were you just was it like Minnesota? Were you just shaking down the taxpayers? He goes, oh yeah, I was here. I billed for it. I was definitely here. I just can't remember anything about what took place. So that's sort of the state of play with these folks in Georgia. That whole suit, as you all know, that whole, action, I should say, has fallen apart. It was completely bogus, and I think everyone saw that. But yeah, we're waiting to see what may transpire with Fani Willis.
Is there federal legal jeopardy that you think Fani Willis could find herself in based on the facts as you know them?
Well, I don't know about that. We're trying to get her testimony and trying to get information from her, and it seems like every time she is in some kind of public appearance in Georgia, she wants to attack our committee and the work we're doing when we're just trying to get the truth out there.
Right.
Because this was all part of, as we said a few minutes ago, this was all part of this concerted effort to go after the president, and it didn't work. The country, this is what I love about Americans. Americans, in the end, get to the truth. Americans have common sense. One of the reasons we're the greatest country ever. They saw through all the BS, and they said, no, President Trump's getting a raw deal here. We want this guy back as commander-in-chief, back in the Oval Office. And as I said before, it's been an amazing first year of his second term.
Jim Jordan, glad you get to hang out with my man Clay there in D.C. I feel a little left out right now, I'll be honest with you. I feel like you guys are going to go, throw a baseball around on the mall or something, and I'm just up here.
Go back to meetings and votes. We just had a committee hearing and finish out.
It's tough,
I'm coming to Florida, and I want to see it in person.
Oh,
maybe
I was going to say in Miami.
Yeah, you got to come check it out. Because I'm sitting here in my perfect 75-degree weather.
I want to see the studio, but more importantly, I want to see the surf. I want to see it in action. Bob Sexton.
We'll video you live. We'll video you live with the gun if you come down here with the surf gun.
Hold the gun. You can be the officiant.
There's no way I'm trying to return it. I am.
No. I'm saying you could be the officiant on the surf gun for me. Cool. We'll bring you down here.
That'd be cool.
All righty. All right, thanks everybody.
Clay, you
fantastic.
I'm picking Indiana. I think that Indiana's going to win, but I do think I'm kind of finessing things. I took Miami plus the 8.5. I think it's a field goal game. I think it'll be a defensive struggle. I like what the Hurricanes are. Bucks going to the game with me. I'm taking it to the game Monday.
Good for you guys.
my beloved Hurricanes. My beloved. Let me just go on the record here. I've crunched the numbers. I've watched the tape. Hurricanes are coming through with the W on this one. Okay, Hurricanes all the way. My Miami Hurricanes are going to blow through town. It's going to be fantastic.
State, the defensive line 3 and 4, I think, are their numbers. I can't remember their names. That was the game in my judgment.
I just saw J.D. Vance at the White House, and I said, "What happened with your Buckeyes?" Yeah. And he said, "Thanks. I've got a lot of things going on in my life right now. I appreciate you reinforcing what happened in that game against Miami."
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, Clay, I got to pay some bills. Didn't take me long to fully appreciate why new parents love to take pictures of their little ones. It's amazing here with little Jimmy Speed, and it's fantastic day in and day out. But my mom and dad, they raised 4 kids in their house, and my dad used to have to go to all of our sporting events. He loved it, but sporting events and family get-togethers, and he was a VHS guy. He used to have the camcorder out. He'd be like, "Bucko, what do you think about, the school play today?" And I'd be like, "I thought it was great." But now I can't watch that anymore. We got these old tapes, and we can't watch them. But guess what? Now you can, thanks to Legacy Box. Any old media you have, any old media, you can enjoy now thanks to Legacy Box's digital transfer process. It's so easy. It's a fun thing to do because you're going to relive those memories just pulling it all together, and then you're going to really enjoy them once Legacy Box transfers it over digitally to you in the new media format. Just takes a few weeks. They update you every step of the way. They do this with so much care. They give you back the original media. Just go to legacybox.com/buck. Save 55% off when you preserve your past with Legacy Box. Start the new year by preserving your family's most cherished memories that haven't been watched or enjoyed in years. Legacybox.com/buck. Legacybox.com/BUCK to save 55%.
Want to be in the know when you're on the go? The Team 47 Podcast. Trump highlights from the week. Sundays at noon Eastern in the Clay and Buck podcast feed. Find it on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Jesse Kelly tears it up weeknights 6 to 9.
On 710 WOR.
Rise and shine with a dose of truth.
Every villain must be countered by an equal and opposite hero. Mayor Adams made it illegal to protest outside synagogues. Zoran Mamdani rescinded it.
Larry Minty.
Julie Menin, the new Speaker of the City Council.